Welcome back to my channel. This is Tarot, and in today's Pick a Card reading, we are going to be looking at the positive impact you have on others and just look at how your existence and your presence makes a difference in other people's lives. So we are going to be first looking at you to make sure that you pick the right pile, and then we'll go into your positive impacts on other people and then get some advice for you moving forward. And I am excited to announce that this video is actually a collab with the amazing Celtic Fairy Tarot. I've shared her channel already, but if you've not checked out Alyssa and her videos, now would be an excellent time. She is going to be doing what positive changes you can make for yourself on her channel. So the theme here is positivity and good things you bring to the world, or good things you can do to change for yourself. So if you have not checked her out, this would be an excellent opportunity to do so, and I will link her channel and her collab video down below, so feel free to check that either before or after you watch this one. But going into our video today, we have 4 different piles or cards for you to choose from. Starting with card 1, we have this Rhodonite stone on top of it. And then for card 2, we have this piece of clear calcite on top of it. And then for pile 3, we have this Carnelian and flower agate palm stone on top of it. And then finally for pile 4, we have this Aqua Quartz on top of card 4. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. It's quite possible you could resonate with multiple piles. There could be many different ways you impact people positively, or you may need to do some trial and error. So if you pick a pile and the description doesn't sound like you, that's likely not your pile, and I would try a different pile. If you can't find your description in any of these 4 piles, I would say unfortunately I probably didn't pick up on your energy this time around, but I have plenty of other videos that you could check out if you want, or you could check out Celtic Fairy Tarot's channel, or make a sandwich, do something positive with your life. I don't know, just do whatever you want. But once you picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and scroll down to the comment section or the description box, where I will have all the timestamps listed for each pile below. And then once you have picked your pile or piles, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the Rhodonite heart, this is going to be your reading on your positive, how's that lisp? Positive impact on other people. So what we're going to start with is looking at your energy. So if this resonates with you, then congrats that you found your pile. If this doesn't resonate with you, then I would try a different pile. So what we're gonna do first is look at your energy, make sure that resonates, and then we'll look at the positive impact you have on others. And then we will get channeled messages from your spirit guides or the universe, whatever you believe in or lack thereof. And we'll finish off with advice. So let's go ahead and start by looking at your energy. So to start, we have personal mandala. And we have compassion, loving kindness, tenderness, and tolerance, with water being there. And then I know this looks like a person A, person B format, but this is all you, so don't get it twisted. So we also have rescuer, we have attachment, and we have firefly. And then we also have virgin. Pile 1, if you pick this, you're definitely a virgin who can't drive. And that's that. Thanks for watching. Anyway, we also have financial constraints and shark. I hope people got that as a Clueless reference. Otherwise, that might be a very weird comment I just made. Anyway, let's talk about you, pile 1. You really do have a very precious energy, and kind of the way that I'm looking at this is this side is more so what you show others, and this side is more kind of what you keep hidden or what you keep within. And the biggest thing that I'm seeing here is that, one, you may have a personality that is very easy for people to project onto. And two, I see that sometimes your desire to help out others or your desire to give to others may not be seen accurately all the time. I think you're actually an incredibly compassionate person, but I think you're the type of person where people will tell you, like, before I met you, I thought that you were mean, or I thought that you didn't like me, because maybe you just have resting bee face, or you are just maybe more quiet or more like reserved, and then people take that as like being an ice queen or king. But from what I could see here, you're actually a very, very compassionate person who maybe sometimes doesn't realize how much the people around you love you. Because what I see here with Rescuer, provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. I do think that one thing that people notice about you is that you may be selfless to your detriment at times, but it's something that people also praise you for, because you have this willingness to be selfless in ways that most people aren't. But I can definitely see that there are parts of you internally that maybe feel neglected. I definitely see here that you may have a hard time speaking your truth to people. Because with this Firefly card here, we have air energy. So we have a lot of water and a little bit of air energy. So Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces placements could be significant, as well as Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements. You don't have to have those placements, but those are there. And one thing I see is that you may have these moments of clarity where you're like, I need to make a change, or I need to do something else, or I really need to focus more on myself. Or you might get these moments of brilliance where you work on certain projects, or you have an idea of where you want your life to go or what you want to do. And then it kind of seems like you settle back into that confusion. I think that the people around you may notice you have certain attachments towards needy people or experiences where maybe you're not quite able to break free of that, or people find that maybe you really devote yourself to causes that not a lot of people would. So I do think in general you're seen as very selfless. But I do think what most people don't see is that this selflessness is rooted in a deep insecurity of feeling like you're not good enough and feeling like you're not worthy of receiving. I think that there is a lot of comfort for you in consistently giving, because you may not know what it's like to receive, and you may feel like you're not worthy of receiving. Even if you may not be doing well financially right now, or you could be fine financially and just be really struggling with the mentality of feeling secure, I definitely think that there are deep survival fears within you where it's very scary for you to assert your truth or assert what you think, because you're afraid that maybe if you don't have the support of people around you, or that if people disagree with you, that you may wind up alone, or that you may not have support. I feel like there's this real energy within you where you can be what other people need, and it leaves you wondering who you actually are. And I think one of the hardest parts of all of this is that you know that you're worthy of kindness, you know that you're worthy of giving to yourself, but you don't really know how. And it's usually only when people remind you of that you remember, oh yeah, like I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not nurturing myself, or I am giving too much of myself away. So one thing that I think people are seeing and noticing, or that you may be changing, is that there does need to be more of an emphasis on who you really are. Because with this shark card here, this card talks about having deep truths that maybe we don't express because we're too afraid to, or we're afraid of our truths coming to the surface. And the shark card kind of talks about how the things that we leave unspoken can kind of become more intense the longer we suppress them. And I think that internally right now, you're kind of dealing with this issue of, I'm starting to recognize the things in my external reality that are no longer matching what I feel I deserve, or that I fully recognize now are not giving me the treatment I know I deserve, but I'm not sure how to change, and I'm afraid of making those changes. With the Virgin card here, I'm not necessarily taking it literally, though I guess you could. I think that this is more so the fact that no matter what you've been through, you won't let it taint your pure heart and spirit. And I think that you've probably been through some difficult experiences when it comes to your material wealth, or you may have had, maybe you grew up in poverty, or that's something that you just deal with, that even if you've gotten out of it, you maybe feel like you're not worthy enough, or you may have imposter syndrome. I mean, you could be completely financially secure and just have major imposter syndrome, or worry that everything that you've accumulated for yourself is just going to be taken away within the blink of an eye or something like that. There's this real fear of the rug being ripped out from underneath you. And one thing that I notice as well is there's a lot of figures in these cards that have like really long, beautiful hair. That doesn't mean that you have to have hair, but I think that there's something very natural about your look that I think that people really like. Like maybe your natural hair is really beautiful if you have hair, or you have a style that plays really well to how you look. There's something about your overall vibe that just like works. And for some of you, I think it has to do with your hair. I don't know, it's kind of this weird energy where people have a hard time getting a good read on you, and I'm experiencing the same thing. And I think that's partially because you're so good at morphing into what other people need you to be, that you go back to, wait, who am I? what matters to me? So I think right now you're kind of going through this experience where you're starting to recognize maybe problematic tendencies within yourself, where maybe you may neglect your own needs to help others. We could call that setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. And you're starting to recognize, okay, this isn't fair to myself. I deserve better than this. I need to spend more time with myself. And I think right now, you're starting to see color in the sense of, this personal mandala card is black and white. And I think that you may have looked at things in a very black and white way in the past, where you were like, I provide value to the world by helping others, and that's it. I feel like you are maybe not recognizing that you're worthy of receiving, or you're starting to recognize that you're worthy of good things coming to you, that you're worthy of the same love that you give to other people. And I think you're working through now, how do I have compassion for myself? How do I give to others? I think that there's a real darkness within you that maybe you either don't want to acknowledge, or that maybe you've tried to bury because it's just difficult to deal with, or painful to deal with, or you're not ready to deal with that. And it may be manifesting itself in these self-sacrificing ways that you're currently learning how to overcome. But I think one of the beautiful things is that you are starting to address your own darkness. You're not pushing it away anymore. And I think that actually embracing your darkness is one of the best things that you can do for yourself, because one, it'll help you get out of this idea that you need to constantly be repenting for who you are by helping others or doing good for others, because you do a lot of good for others, but I think you hold yourself back and feeling like you're not worthy of doing good for yourself. I also think that you're starting to recognize that there are people in your life that may have taken advantage of your kindness, or taken advantage of your desire to help others, and I think you're learning how to rebalance your energy and rebalance what really matters to you. And I do feel this very solitary energy within you, where even if you have a partner, it does kind of feel like it's hard for you to get really close to people, because a lot of your relationships seem to center around making other people feel secure, but not necessarily letting them past your walls. And so I think that's something that you're working on and learning how to overcome. But you might right now feel very insecure about showing people who you really are, or the version of yourself you believe yourself to be, because maybe it's newer, or maybe it includes parts of yourself that you haven't necessarily shown others. But really what I think is really wonderful about your energy, pile 1, is just your willingness to look at things in a different way. I don't think you recognize how much your perspective has shifted and how much you deserve to be compassionate with yourself. Because I feel like you were probably brought up in a household where, no matter what type of household it was, there were very black and white rules, or very black and white ways of looking at things. Like, if you're in this family, we believe XYZ, we do not partake or believe in ABC, and you have these expectations and you have these roles to play within the family, blah, 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 blah. And I think you're realizing now that life doesn't necessarily work that way. And when it comes to defining yourself in your own life, things might not necessarily be that black and white. And so I think you're constantly in this process of learning more about yourself. And I think you're starting to really like who you're becoming. I hope you are, because you're wonderful. I think the biggest thing holding you back is that nagging, desire to help others first and then yourself. Like, you know how on airplanes they say, like, in the event of emergency, make sure you put your oxygen masks on first before somebody else's. I think you're learning, okay, I need to put on my oxygen mask first. I need to start putting myself first, because your soul is kind of getting to you at this point where emotionally, I think you feel just not great after expending yourself. You might be dealing with compassion fatigue, or have experienced that's brought you to the point where you're like, okay, I really do need to focus on myself more. I really do need to give myself more love. What I think is really beautiful here is that your place of helping others, one, comes from a place of compassion. It does come from shadow energies as well that we already discussed, but I think that at your core, you're a very compassionate person, and you don't want anyone to feel the way that people and certain experiences have made you feel in your past. And so you really have that vibe of, I've suffered in the past, so I would like to prevent the suffering of others. Or maybe you're still suffering right now, and so you're like, I want to prevent the suffering of others. And that's a very noble thing. But you have to want to relieve yourself of that suffering as well. And so I think that you're learning to let go of attachments to a version of yourself, maybe a very self-sacrificing version of yourself, that maybe other people have felt comfortable of you being that version of yourself. And now you're starting to embrace who you're becoming, and you might find that things fall away. But the beauty is that you'll start attracting people that are more aligned with who you are now, and will appreciate you for who you are rather than just what you do for them. And I feel like it should be said that you may be looked at as very innocent, or very sweet, or just very selfless. Like with this Firefly card here, I feel like people look at you as pretty harmless, but I feel like people have no idea the strength and resilient spirit that actually lies within you, and how powerful you truly are. I think that's something you're still discovering, and I think you're still unaware of your power. And I think you're going to continue to become empowered the more you recognize that your attachments to other people do not define you, and that you're still worthy no matter what sorts of attachments you have to people. But I think the biggest thing that you're gaining right now is a sense of self-respect and self-reliance. And we're about to go into all the positive impacts you have on people, but I think it should be noted that, you're in this process of making positive impacts towards yourself, and you should really applaud yourself for that and be proud of yourself for that, because you 100% deserve that. You deserve to be good to yourself. You deserve to be kind to yourself. You deserve to put yourself first, because nobody else is going to. Unless they're like you, and then they don't put themselves first at all. Not to roast you, but that's why it's important. When you focus on yourself, you can show other people the beauty of focusing on themselves too. So let's go ahead and see the positive impact that you have on people, because clearly you do, because it's coming into your own personal energy so much. So this is the Cosmic Visions Tarot, if you're curious. Okay, so Spirit, what positive impact does, pile 1 have on other people? What positive impact? You have the 4 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles. What else? Spirit, positive impact. We have the Knight of Swords. I'm hearing the Kim Possible theme song in my head right now. We have the Hanged Man. Pisces energy could be significant. Yeah. We also have the Queen of Cups. And on the back of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords. Okay. I love this. I love you, pile 1. You're really great. So let's talk about why. You are that friend who, one, I think you're a pretty good texter when it comes to the people that you care about. Oh shit. Hang on 1 second. I think there is a massive fire outside and I want to go peep it. Hello, I'm back. Sorry. Don't worry, the fire is not near me. I can just see like massive billowing smoke, and it just kind of low-key looked like the Wicked Witch was about to, like, you know, tell Dorothy to surrender some ish. So yeah, had to check that out. It looks like it's getting worse. But let's go back to your reading. I hope everyone's okay. But let's get back to your reading. If I can pull in my gosh dang chair. All right. Now I have to sneeze. Okay. All right. Let's go. That is a sign that you are blessed. So, with the 6 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles here, I feel like people really trust your advice. And not only that, I feel like you're a very trusted friend. Like, people definitely go to you when they want something to remain a secret. Like, people can trust you with their deepest, darkest secrets and know that you won't go and tell someone. But at the same time, you're so fun to talk to. With the Knight of Swords being here, I definitely feel like people will love to talk to you, especially if like some drama is happening in their life or something like goes down. Like, you're the type of person that people will text and be like, dude, like, you'll never guess what happened, and they'll go and like tell you about their whole day. And I feel like you have the best, you give really good advice, but you also have the best way of like reacting to people's stories and stuff like that. So I feel like people just love telling you what's going on in their life, because you always come back with the most interesting, like, oh my God, like, no way, and then what happened, and things like that. So more than anything, I feel like people see you as a trusted person to go to, a good companion, incredibly psychic. With this Queen of Cups here, you might be that type of person who like knows that something's off with someone even if they don't say anything. I feel like certain people feel like they can't get anything past you sometimes, and I think that's a good thing, because you may be able to see into people, and you know, they might say things like, oh, it's fine, I'm really fine, and you'll be like, no, seriously, I think there's something up, what's wrong? And then people just end up kind of like pouring out what's going on, and I feel like you just give excellent advice, excellent reassurance. And I think one thing that people really appreciate about you with this Hanged Man here is, one, just your outlook on life. I think you have a very unique perspective, and I think that you're either really funny or just really creative in terms of whatever you create or however you look at things, I think people just find you to be very witty, very funny, and you give people a new perspective that they weren't seeing before. And I also think you make it easier for people to be kinder to themselves. So why can't you do this for you, pile one? This is not fair to you. You are wonderful. You need to be nice to yourself. With the Six of Swords here, for some of you, this isn't going to resonate for all of you, but for some of you, I do feel like people appreciate your willingness to go above and beyond for them, in terms of like, you might be the type of friend to drive everyone if no one's willing to, or you might be the friend to travel to someone else when they're not feeling great, or I just feel like you're the one who makes those selfless sacrifices for others. Like if somebody's sick, I feel like you're the type of person who will go to the store or go out of your way to like go shopping for a friend if it's their birthday. You know, I feel like you're really thoughtful, especially during a period of time where I feel like a lot of people are thoughtless. You're incredibly thoughtful when it comes to remembering the special moments in other people's lives, remembering to make people feel important. And not only that, with the Ace of Swords here, I feel like you give people a sense of clarity that they didn't have before. Like people can come to you about anything and you're not going to judge them. You give people a very compassionate listening ear. And I think another cool thing is that it doesn't even seem like you give people unsolicited advice or anything like that. You're very easy to talk to and very compassionate. And even if you may not approve of what someone is doing or approve of what decision someone's making, I don't think you outwardly say that. I feel like you're supportive of people learning their own lessons and figuring it out for themselves. I feel like you're not the type of person to just be like, that's a horrible idea. Like you're the antithesis of those friends on 90 Day Fiancé that are like, now how do you know they're not just using you for a green card or whatever? You know what I mean? Like you're that friend that's like, you know what, if you find love and they make you happy, I support it all the way. Like I feel like you just genuinely want the people in your life to be happy, to feel supported, and I think that you do an excellent job of making people feel heard, loved, and really honestly just seen in ways that I think that most people don't see them. And not only that, I think you're really good at dissipating conflict between others or being a mediator. And maybe that's not a role you necessarily want or enjoy, but you are very good at it. So like even if you were thinking about having a job as like a mediator or intermediary of some kind, I think you'd actually be really talented at that. People do appreciate your ability to mesh into any sort of environment, but I think at times people may feel out of their element when they're around you, because I think it's so easy for people to project what they want to believe onto you that when they see you, like for example, if they go to your house or they get like a private moment with you, they're oftentimes like they may be surprised about what you reveal about yourself or just parts of you that they didn't know. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize how much you've been through and how much you've worked through. And so the fact that you are so selfless and that you are so giving to other people, I think it just makes them have a deeper appreciation for the type of person that you are. I also just heard work smart, not hard. So you might be the type of person who's like awesome with life hacks or awesome with giving people the right advice or the right encouragement to work through their problems. I think you're an excellent problem solver when it comes to other people's problems. However, when it comes to your problems, I don't know how good you are at those, but I think that you definitely have people that are willing to help you. I think the problem is the ability to discern who is actually in your corner for the right reasons and who is in your corner because you help them out. And I think you're in the process of learning that. But you just have such a big heart. I feel like you don't want to see the worst in people. You don't want to believe that they could act that way, because I think it's just inconceivable to you. Because like I feel like when it comes to you, I don't think you could really imagine, you know, throwing people under the bus or using people for your own gain. Like that's just not the way that you operate. I feel like you have a lot of integrity, you have a lot of morals, and I think it is genuinely hard on you when you realize someone is not coming from the same position as you. But I think the people that are in your life genuinely, they recognize how pure your heart is and how much you really care, and that, you know, your time and love and care and attention is not something to take for granted, because anyone you give it to is incredibly lucky. And I think with the Ace of Swords here, like, people can trust you to tell the truth. People can trust you to be honest with them. But not only that, to be honest in a kind way. I think, you know, there are people that have that personality of, well, I'm just honest and I'm going to tell it like it is. But they're not talented in telling it kindly. And I think that you are someone who is very good at being honest with people while still being kind. I also think that one of the biggest improvements that you've made on yourself recently is you're starting to cut through other people's bullshit, even if it's not directly to them. Like, if someone gives you an excuse for something and you're like, I don't really believe that, I think you take them less seriously in the future and give them less of your time and energy than you typically would. I also think you could be a DIY king or queen. I get that vibe from some of you, but more than anything with that Four of Pentacles here, people just appreciate that, like, you don't forget them. Like, even if you haven't talked to someone in a while, you'll still reach out and be like, hey, like, I hope you're doing well, or if you're thinking of them or wishing them a happy birthday. People feel secure in a friendship or a connection with you, and I think that most people can kind of tell that you maybe hold certain things back, but they appreciate that you're not the type of person who just dumps your own issues onto people without, like, asking them if they're in a space to receive that. So more so than anything, I think for some of you, you could be really good at writing. So people could come to you and be like, hey, what do you think of this essay? Or can you proofread this? I feel like you would be like a trusted proofreader or editor or something like that, because you're able to make corrections without being critical or mean towards people. So I think people really trust your judgment and really appreciate the kind twist that you add to it. But more so than anything, I feel like people can kind of get freaked out by your ability to see into them and see the truth of things. And I think it kind of perplexes people. They're like, how is pile one able to figure out so much, but then they can't see XYZ about themselves or see whatever? So I definitely feel like people overall just view you as a really wonderful addition to their life. I think that you make people feel heard. I think that your presence is a huge relief, especially when people are going through something scary or they've gone through something crazy and, like, they need someone to tell. Like, the fact that you're willing to be there, like, you're a quick text away, you usually respond really quickly, things like that. I think people really appreciate that. They appreciate your communication abilities. They appreciate your ability to just be a cheerleader and be chill, if I'm being honest. Like, I think that you are just someone who very much goes with the flow. I feel like you're not the type of person to engage in conflict, but I do think that you will stand up for other people, especially, or like, if someone pushes you to a point where you're like where you're done, like, you will kind of lay into someone or be like, listen, like, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm going to set my boundaries, and you're just getting better with that. So keep setting those boundaries, keep prioritizing, you know, your own growth, your own evolution, things like that. But more so than anything, the most positive impact you have on others is just you being your beautiful self and just being a good friend and a good, you know, supportive person to the people around you. I think that people love who you naturally are, and the more you become the person that you were always meant to be, the person that you're discovering, I think the more people are just gonna fall in love with you and love the person that you are. I think the more that you have this unabashed awareness of, you know, the sanctity of your being and the beautiful person that you are, the more you'll recognize even more things in your life that you can let go of, because they just don't vibe with you anymore, and there's no reason for you to hold on to them. And I think the more peace you'll have, and the more people will respect you and respect your ability to be kind but still firm. Like, kindness is not weakness, and I think that you are an excellent example of that, and you're only going to prove that more over time. So I'm going to go ahead and get some channeled messages from your spirit guides and just see what they want you to know in terms of yourself and things like that. So Spirit, what messages do you have for pile 1? What is it that they need to hear or need to know right now? Okay, we have 2 to start with. Yes, this is the sign you were looking for. Whatever question, confirmation, or synchronicity you were seeking an answer to, it is a yes. We also have stay graceful and poised even when triggered by others. Know that you cannot change the behavior of others, only your response. Stick with your integrity and think before you speak. That is one thing the Knight of Swords has trouble with, is thinking before they speak. But I feel like you're the type of person who's not just gonna like say something incredibly unhinged. I think that you do think a little bit, but maybe sometimes if you're extra emotional, you might say something you don't mean. Let's see what else we have. This is a time of heightened creativity, ideas, and knowledge. You may be taking on a new hobby, or you are being encouraged to awaken and flow with your creativity. Your ideas are now golden. We also have showing your vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Be expressive with your emotions and don't be afraid to say how you feel. If someone can't return the same to you, that's a reflection of their own fear. I agree. And on the back of the deck, we have let go of whatever it is that you have been holding on to so tightly out of fear of losing it. Know that whatever is yours will have a way of being in your life without needing to force it. Finally, let go and you will feel the weight being lifted off of you. Yeah, I think these are all wonderful messages. And I would say particularly balloons and feathers or even ballet slippers could be signs or synchronicities that you may want to look out for it. And as I cut the deck, we also have sign. So we'll see if that card comes out, but I feel like it's meant for you no matter what. And now we have yes popping out. So I feel like even if you might have been drawn to this reading and maybe didn't particularly care about the topic, maybe you just needed this confirmation at the end. Sorry, I swear I'm getting over my cold, but now as I'm filming, my voice all of a sudden wants to be nasally. But we're just going to go ahead and finish this reading off with some final guidance. So Spirit, what guidance do you have for pile 1 when it comes to moving forward? What do you want them to know in general? We have new beginnings. An exciting shift is on its way. A new job, project, promotion, or home is in the works. That's awesome. We also have be fearlessly you. It's time to become fearlessly you. This is the most powerful step you can take towards living your best life. Don't worry about what others think. We also have relax. Everything is okay. Everything is working out perfectly, and this situation will resolve effortlessly. Expect miraculous solutions to unfold. Finally, yeah, we have another let go. Let it go. It's time to let go of negative thoughts that are consuming you. Don't waste your energy on them any longer. And on the back of the deck, we have believe in yourself. You have the power to succeed just like everyone else does. And I definitely believe that as well. You are a lovely, lovely, wonderful human. Pile 1, and I hope you believe that and continue to see that in yourself. So I am going to leave this reading here. If you guys want to go ahead and check out Alyssa's reading linked below, please do that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much, Alyssa, for collabing with me, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already and click that little bell notification or button to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. I do typically respond to people when I first upload, so if you want to hear back from me, you have a much higher likelihood of that if you comment when I first upload. I also have merch linked below and social media links below, though do be aware I have tons of scammers pretending to be me on social media right now. So just know that I will not solicit you for personal readings, and I will never, ever slide in your DMs asking you for a reading. If somebody does that, that's a scammer. So thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. I really hope that this reading resonated and that you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. Yes, my nails did change in between the intro and now. We are going to go ahead and start this reading by looking at your energy to make sure this is your pile. So if you chose the clear calcite and this oracle card, this is going to be your reading. So this is all you. Don't be confused. This is not a person A, person B style thing. This is all meant to represent you. So to start, we have number 11 with higher will, and we have number 10 with vision, higher consciousness, insight, guidance. We also have the dragonfly. We have healer, and we have door to romance. Actually, I think I'm gonna switch these up a little bit. And then the last few cards we have are Femme Fatale. We have the 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron, but I will probably say Megatron on accident, so just be aware. And we also have the beaver. Okay, so I see we have some bad bitches in the audience today. Hello. And listen, bad bitch is a gender neutral term, and it is a term of endearment. So if you're offended, I don't think this is a channel for you, because we use bad bitch here. All right. So as I can see, it is bad bitch hours, and I am loving this energy. I want to start with the center with higher will and vision. You're clearly highly intuitive and incredibly psychic, whether you realize it or not. We also have healer here in the 6th chakra, so I would not be shocked in the slightest. Shocked. Get it? I would not be shocked in the slightest if, you work in some sort of healing field, or you work in like a service industry or an industry where you're caring for others. If not, I think that even if you're not, maybe you're in school right now, maybe planning to go into an industry like that, or even for some of you, maybe this isn't even a career-oriented thing. It could just be your energy, the way you are around people. You are someone that is constantly changing, and that's something that people notice. Not only that, well, one thing that I can see right away is that you might have a really hyperactive mind, or you might overthink a lot, because I just notice as soon as I sit into your energy, like everything's coming out so quickly. So you might be really good at speaking or writing, or you might just be someone who's witty and can like come up with little comebacks right off the spot. We do have water and air energy here, so Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, as well as Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces signs could be relevant to you. The way I kind of had this set up is this side is more so your internal world, what not everyone sees, and the outside, or this side, is kind of what people do see, what people notice about you. So with this dragonfly card here, one, I feel like people really trust you and your judgment and your opinions on things. They know that you're coming from a place of love. And I feel like one thing people notice about you is that you are constantly changing. I love how this healer card and this dragonfly card kind of have similar colors. And I almost love that the part of the and healer is being covered up by the clear calcite, because I do feel like you're not someone who overtly says, hey, here's how you heal. I think you have a very grounded approach to life and healing, where you're focused on your healing first and foremost, and then everything else kind of falls in line. So you help others through healing yourself. You learn more through healing yourself. Now with the door to romance here, I feel like you might have a lot of romantic interests, or maybe you're known to be a little bit of a heartbreaker. That, or some people may notice that you're a little bit emotionally unavailable, or that it seems like you have this desire, like you have the ability to help heal others, give love to others, but you may have a hard time receiving it. I feel like people see you as someone full of love, but then when it comes to your own actual love life, you might be more closed off, or even if you are in a relationship, you might be very private about it, or very private about your romantic experiences. I can definitely see here with the femme fatale and the door to romance that you're incredibly attractive, even if you don't view yourself as attractive. I'm not talking specifically in physicality, but I do think physicality plays a role here. But I do think your energy, first and foremost, is the most attractive thing to people. It's almost like they can't help but be drawn to you. And I think it's because you have so much of the divine within you. Part of being spiritual is as we heal and we grow and we purge, we make more room for more spiritual light to come in, for more spiritual truth to come in. And I think that you've been going through this process for quite a while now, to the point where you are pretty in tune with your higher self, you're in tune with your higher guidance, and you trust your vision for the future. I think other people trust your vision as well. We have this little owl here, and I do feel like a lot of people view you as incredibly wise. And I think that's part of the reason why so many people may be drawn to you. I feel like people can trust you with their secrets. People feel better after being around you. And not only that, I feel like there are lots of people where they don't know if they want to be you or be on you, if that makes sense. And for some of you, it's definitely both. One thing that I'm picking up as well is we have 33 and 11. So you could be a life path 11 or a life path 33, or a life path 2 or a life path 6. But what we also have here with the femme fatale card is that you're someone who can be incredibly seductive and erotic without realizing it. And I think people have a hard time picking up on when you may be flirting or when you may express interest with people. And if you have a partner, they may be able to confirm that. Like maybe when you first met them, they had no idea you were into them or things like that. I definitely think you can be innocently attractive. Obviously, if you're underneath 18, please, for the love of God, take that with a grain of salt. It's why we take what resonates here. But with the 6th chakra being here, and we also have it highlighted in vision and higher will, I think you are incredibly psychic, and I think what you intuit continues to be proven in the physical, whether you have immediate evidence or not. I also think that angels are a huge part of your life, whether you realize it or not. It does seem like the divine is kind of in cahoots with you because you do so much to serve the divine. It's not like you're God's favorite. It's just you do so much for God. It's of course I have to bless you, king or queen. But with the beaver card being here, I feel like this is a part of you that people don't really see, but it deserves to be seen. Because you are so caring, especially to your family. I think you're an incredibly loyal person, and you have kind of a family first sort of attitude, and that may not necessarily be your immediate family. If you're not on good terms with them, that could be the family of your own creation. But I think no matter what, you're a hard worker and very dependable. And I think some people might view your gifts and your skills as something that you were naturally given. And maybe there's partial truth to that. But I think it's also a lot of hard work and dedication that's brought you to the point where you're able to utilize your gifts so much. I'm drawn to how similar this 6th chakra card and the higher will card are, because I really do think you're incredibly in tune with the divine and the will of the divine. And I think because so much of what you do is not necessarily for your benefit, but for the benefit of all beings, including yourself, I think that allows for things to flow more easily to you. Maybe not in a love situation for some of you, because this door to romance card to me gives me the idea that either maybe you have a lot of casual connections, or you have a lot of potential options, or you just completely shut love down, or if you are in a romantic relationship, it seems likely that is something kind of more private that you like to keep under wraps. But with the dragonfly here again, I really do feel like when people see you after a while of not seeing you, I think they're always surprised by how you've changed and how you've grown. I feel like you're always trying to seek the truth and always trying to find the underlying messages or the underlying hidden things into anything that you're looking at or observing. I also think that with this giant water triangle here, I think that even when you speak honestly, you still speak compassionately. And I think that that is something that people really respect you for. And not only that, I think you're very good at matching people's energy and kind of getting to the root of what might be going on, or the root of certain causes. I think people see you as incredibly intelligent and maybe a little bit erratic and scatterbrained at times, especially like just with feeling your energy. It might be quite possible that, like, you know, you're being pulled in 10 different directions, it feels like sometimes, or you might be neurodivergent, so like, you know, you might be like me and have ADHD and get like distracted by every little thing or something like that. But I definitely think people view you as intelligent, even if it's in your own way. You know, there's no such thing as one form of intelligence, but I think that you're incredibly intelligent in lots of different ways that come together as in a very unique combination of like book smarts, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and things of that nature. So if that resonates, then we're going to go ahead and see the positive impact that you have on others. And I would love to see, I don't know what I was saying there. Anyway, I am using the Cosmic Visions Tarot, if anyone was curious. So Spirit, what positive impact does pile 2 have? And of course, we got number 20 coming out for pile 2. So we got Judgment. Positive impact is, wow, okay. So we have Judgment and we have the Divine, which is an oracle card just for this deck. Or not an oracle card, a major arcana card just for this deck. We have the 8 of Cups. Oh my God, I love how similar. It looks like Miss Booty Girl looks like she has dragonfly wings. We have the King of Cups. We have the 2 of Cups. And on the back of the deck, we have the Hanged Man. Wow, okay. You make a huge impact on people. Pile 2, holy crap. Sorry, I was laughing because this card made me think of a meme. I can't remember what the specific meme is, but it's like 2 people making out in one box, and like the other box is like the 2 people making out in like the background, or like completely neglecting something else. Anyway, let's just get into this. You have such a profound impact on the people in your life, and I need you to know that, because like, holy shit. Starting with Judgment and the Divine, I think that you bring people closer to their own spirituality. I think that you drop truth bombs that people are not able to ignore. You could be that psychic or that crystal person that opens people's eyes to, oh, hey, maybe this isn't just a bunch of bull honky. Maybe there is some truth to this. You're the person that fundamentally changes reality for people, and in incredibly positive ways, with the Divine being here. And Judgment. I'm drawn to all these triangles, these repeating triangles. Triangles are a sign of energy production, or like conduction for me. And I really think that you help people bring the energy of the Divine into their own lives. I think that you empower people to make their own decisions and recognize that they deserve more. With the 8 of Cups in reverse, I think people have seen you walk away from things that don't serve you and take risks and take chances that most people wouldn't, and it's gotten you to a place of where people recognize, oh, if pile 2 can do this, I can do this, or like pile 2 was able to do this, I bet I can do it too. I also think that you give people the confidence to search for what's out there and look for something better, look for something more aligned with them. With the Divine card being here, I feel like people are just blown away by your spiritual gifts in general. I think that there is a real magic to you. And I think that people feel seen and heard by you in a way that not many people do. With the King of Cups being here, this emotional intelligence is really being highlighted again. So people definitely see you as somebody who is able to empathize with them and make their emotions feel validated. You're incredibly emotionally intelligent, and you're able to hold space for other people's emotions without getting drained, which is an incredibly difficult skill to have, especially if you're highly sensitive or an empath. So if you're able to do that, that is a huge sign that you've done a lot of healing. But with the Two of Cups being here, for some of you, you could have a really positive relationship that inspires others to find a relationship similar to yours. But I think that on a much broader scale, I think that any current or past lovers of yours have been changed fundamentally by being with you. I think that you have really opened people's eyes, and I think that you're the one that got away for a lot of people, if I'm being honest. I also think, though, that this really speaks to your ability to connect one-on-one with people in very incredible ways. I think that it doesn't really matter who the person is. I think you have an ability, cups are all about emotion. So I think that you really have the ability to get to people's hearts and speak in ways that touch people's hearts and make them feel heard and make them feel like they're an equal with you and that you're having an equal exchange. You are an incredible matcher of energy, and I think that people really feel like when they're one-on-one with you, like you're the only two people in existence. And I don't even mean that necessarily in like a romantic way, though it could be, but I mean just like even friends and things like that, they will just feel like, oh, like time will just fly when they're with you, especially if it's one-on-one, because there's just a way that your brain works and a way in which you view the world that I think is really rare and really refreshing. And so people honestly, like, I think that some people may find that almost addicting, and you may find that there are people that have trouble, that you have trouble setting boundaries with, because they may get almost addicted to your energy. And you may find that a lot of your relationships are not necessarily one-sided, but are not equal, in the sense that one of the lessons that you might have to learn is that some people might keep coming around you. And I don't even think this is in a malicious way, because they are so drawn to your energy, and your energy is so healing, and it heals them without realizing. So it's incredibly important for you to know that you're going to have lots of different people coming into your life no matter what. Make sure you don't let those ones that drain you, or those ones that don't really give you anything in return in terms of like emotional fulfillment or feeling heard, feeling safe, being an authentic friend. Don't let those people that drain you get too much access to your energy. With the Hanged Man being here as well, with the Hanged Man in Judgment, I feel like you are just out of this world. For a lot of you, you might resonate with like being a starseed or something like that. But I think that you're a natural channeler. You have wisdom beyond your years, an old soul, and people really trust you, trust your judgment, trust what you have to say. And I think that there are people, especially lovers, that either you're the best they'll ever have, or they hope one day to be in your life, because you are just amazing. And whoever has your heart, I think a lot of people are going to be jealous of, unless you're polyamorous or non-monogamous. Whoever has your heart, however many people have your heart, they are very lucky. Let's just put it with that, as that. Yeah, you're just a bunch of magic. And I'm also called to the fact that like so many of the figures in all of these cards are either like naked or half naked, and maybe you've got a really great bond, and that's the positive impact you've made on some people. They're like, damn, pile two got an ass. But I think this more so speaks to the fact that you have this ability to be vulnerable with people in a way that not many people are. And the thing is that your vulnerability shows what true strength is. Because real strength is not blocking people out, shutting people down, and having these walls up. True strength is being able to be real, to be vulnerable, and be truthful, and not waver in that, or not deny what you're experiencing because you're afraid. I think that you have done a lot of healing, and at this point, I think that you may be the type of person just looking for people who either see the world differently to you in ways that intrigue you, or see the world similarly to you, or are on a similar healing path. I feel like no matter what, you've awakened people to so many truths that they would not be aware of otherwise. You've empowered people to see their own divinity, to see their own heart, and the fact that they are also loved by the universe. I think that people may have thought at first that you were just lucky, or that you were handed things in your life. And I think after getting to know you, people realize, oh no, Pile 2 got this from, just being a wonderful person, but also, working hard, staying humble, staying grounded, staying in their lane, doing them. And I think that you're a rare breed, Pile 2, and there's not much like you. That's what I can say. Like, anyone who has you in their life is incredibly lucky, and I think most people that do have you in their life feel very, very lucky to have you in their life. They love you. Like with this King of Cups, I think that the vast majority of people in your life have just a very deep love for you. And I think especially if you're that person who can kind of come in and out of people's lives, I think that even if people don't always say it, like there's so many more people that love you than you realize, and that are rooting for you, and that want you to do amazing things and be happy. So whenever you are being hard on yourself, you need to remind yourself that there are far more people out there wishing for your success than your demise. And those that are wishing for your demise are just jealous that they don't have what you have, that they're not at where you're at. And I think more than anything, Pile 2, you just need to know that you're worthy the way you are. But this spiritual journey that you're on is nothing less than impressive. And the impacts that you've made on people are incredibly transformative, and all the blessings that the universe gives you for doing this, do not feel like you don't deserve them, because you are incredibly deserving of all of the wonderful gifts the universe has to offer you. And the amount of empowerment and love that you've given to people around you is a sure testament to the blessings that you receive from that, is a sure testament to how impactful what you've done actually is. So let's go ahead now and see what Spirit wants you to know. Let's get some channeled messages. And as I cut the deck, you were gifted with the power of healing, both on a level of self and of others. Step into the light and work with energy to benefit yourself and serve others. The light is within you and always around you. And I think, it is within you and always around you. And I think that people wonder, like, how you do it. Like, but you know what? You know how you do it. You have a purity of heart. You have a gift that you tap into. And I think you stay in your lane. And I think that you also don't view yourself in a very high and mighty way. But okay, let's go ahead and see. Spirit, what messages do you have for Pile 2? So we have self-love is truly the key to harmonious relationships and manifestation. Sorry, I'm getting stuffed up. Time with yourself right now and truly loving. Spend some quality time with yourself right now and work on truly loving and valuing all parts. Put yourself first. Your heart is wanting to step into a state of forgiveness for yourself or others. You may be holding on to pain, bitterness, or trauma in a way that is stagnating your heart's flow. Forgive and let go of the past. What else, Spirit? Let go of whatever it is that you've been holding on so tightly to out of fear of losing it. Know that whatever is yours will have a way of being in your life without needing to force it. Finally, let go and feel the weight lifted off of you. I think there's a lot of pink in these cards, so I think wearing pink or just having more pink around you could be pretty healing. You know, pink is the color of unconditional love and compassion, so it's a pretty good color. I mean, I might be a little biased, but I do think that pink is a good color. Bring some color and variety to your life right now. Work with color therapy. Spice up your routine. Pick up a paintbrush and canvas. Replace the gray areas with bright hues. You need a liveliness boost. So you might be like watching this video. You definitely are hard on yourself and don't see the value of what you bring to the world. But I need you to know that you're so valuable and you are your own worst enemy for freaking sure. You are currently on the path of higher spiritual ascension. You may find that you are no longer resonating with previous timelines and vibrations. Trust that your soul knows exactly which path to walk at this time. And on the back of the deck, it says, oh, I guess we're getting to. Bring more calm and peace to your life. Self-created thought forms, worrying about the future or dwelling on the past may be causing anxiety. Bring your thoughts into balance and in the present moment. That's not a grammatically correct sentence, but that's okay. I like this deck. Okay. And the last one says, cut ties with those toxic people or situations that keep draining you of your vital energy. Say no, disconnect, and take some time for self-reflection and contemplation. Conserve your energy. So I'm seeing a lot of pinks and blues. So maybe pink and blue could be good colors to work with in color therapy. But pink and blue always makes me think of Sleeping Beauty, because you know, like the scene at the very end where the fairy godmothers are like fighting over what color the dress is going to be. And so they keep switching it, being like, make it pink, make it blue, make it pink, make it blue. So maybe Sleeping Beauty is significant. I'm not going to lie though, I was always satisfied as a child, because when the movie, at the very end of the movie, when the movie ends, the dress is pink. And I'm like, yes. The dress is meant to be pink. And I don't care if you think the dress is meant to be blue. And this is my channel, and I am definitively saying the dress is meant to be pink. And that's why the movie ended on pink. I don't give a shit what you think. It's pink. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish this reading off with some positive guidance for you moving forward. So Spirit, what guidance do you have for pile 2? I keep wanting to say pile 3, but I haven't filmed pile 3, so you might have messages in pile 3 as well if you were drawn to both piles. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't waste your precious energy worrying about small things, like if you think that the dress should have been blue. Refocus your thoughts towards love, abundance, and tranquility. In pink dresses. We also have you're appreciated. Your friends and family appreciate you more than you know. And yeah, I would agree with that. We also have wealth. Money is on its way to you. Think thoughts of abundance. So that's the shit we like to see. Okay. We also have empathize. Instead of judging or gossiping, empathize with this person. Try to see their point of view. Choose to only see through love. And on the back of the deck, we have be proud. You should be so incredibly proud of yourself and what you have achieved to reward yourself. So yeah, maybe get yourself a little something with the wealth that you're about to come into with these abundant thoughts, energy, stuff. But pile 2, I almost called you pile 3 again. Pile 2. I'm going to leave this reading here and blow my freaking nose. But thank you guys so much for watching and for being here and for watching my ads or letting them play in the background while I read. I cannot even explain to you guys how helpful that is to me and my channel. But if you would like to help me and my channel in any other ways, you can like this video. You can comment down below and let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already and click that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can also check out any videos that I haven't extended with. Those are typically my love videos, but I do have some that are not love related that have extendeds. Let's see, I also have merch linked below, and I also have my social media, which is linked below, though do be aware I have tons of scammers pretending to be me, so just know I will not slide into your DMs and try to solicit a personal reading from you or any other bullshit like that. I do not offer personal readings, and I will not slide in your DMs. I can barely text my friends back. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 3. If you guys chose this Carnelian and flower agate palm stone that I'm just flinging around because I can't hold things, this is going to be your reading. And what we're going to do first is get an energy check to make sure this is your pile. And no, I'm not doing this in a person A, person B format. These are all your cards. These are all meant to represent you. So if this description sounds like yourself, then we will go ahead and see afterwards what your positive impact on others is. And then others is, I don't know, grammar teacher, help me. If there's one, which I hope there is one. And then we'll do channel messages from the universe, and then we'll finish off with advice. So let's go ahead and start. We have tune in, and we have the channeler, collective mission, understanding. We have the mystic, revels in intimate union with the divine. And we have adjacent possibilities. We also have the horse. And finally, we have the athlete, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and strength of spirit. We also have all tied up. And finally, we have gazelle. I am incredibly pleased by the color placement in these cards, I must say. But I also want to say, before I get too heavy into channeling, if you felt drawn to pile 2, you will likely have messages there because, yeah, I kept saying pile 3 and pile 2, and now that I'm seeing your energy, I understand why. We have even more bad bitches in the house. So I would like to say that bad bitches is a gender neutral term of endearment. So please don't get offended in the comments, but you know, if you do, this may not be the channel for you, because we use bad bitch around here, and I will not stop. So let's start with this energy. Wow, pile 3. You are incredibly impressive, and I don't think people see how much hard work and energy goes into making what you do look so effortless. Starting with the mystic here, I think that people do, well, I mean, the mystic, the channeler, and tune in, I think that you likely have some sort of psychic gift that you utilize in some sort of way, or in whatever that you do, even if it's not like psychic or like related to things that tarot or like occult stuff. I think that no matter what it is that you do, there is a real deep soul connection to whatever your passions are. It's, which, speaking of soul connections, it's like the Pixar movie Soul. You know, when you're in that zone where, like, I can't remember what they call it in the movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it's like when you get into this zone where you're so into what you're doing, it's kind of like you're on a whole different plane of existence. And I think people see that about you. You could be multi-talented, or you could have multiple passions that you're good at. With the horse card here, I feel like people see you as a force to be reckoned with and incredibly powerful. And you may not see yourself that way, but other people certainly do. Not only are you hardworking and reliable, but you also take action based upon your connection with the divine. And I think that you may not know necessarily where you're headed, but I think you have a lot of opportunities. And I think that a lot of people see you as someone with a good head on their shoulders, somebody who has a lot coming in their future, and somebody who has wisdom beyond their years. I mean, the fact that we have so many, these cards actually have many different colors to them, and you'll see that if you click on any of the other piles. So the fact that you have 2 dark purple cards, I think, is really interesting. I think that people don't see, I already said this, but I feel like it needs to be said again. People do not see how much you have to overcome internally to express this energy. Because truthfully, with athlete here, you may not be very physical at all. Some of you absolutely could be, but I think the amount of work it takes just for you to keep yourself regulated, keep yourself on the right path, keep yourself aligned with what is good for you, and keep yourself not from going off the rails. And I don't mean going off the rails in a really destructive way. For you, it could just be like reverting back into old habits for a little while or something like that. It takes a lot of energy and effort. With this all tied up card here, it's really interesting because with adjacent possibilities, it's like, I think people around you see how many opportunities that you have coming your way or how many different paths your life could take. Meanwhile, I think that you have a hard time knowing that you're even worthy of one opportunity or knowing what to do. This gives me intense analysis paralysis vibes. And I think it's mainly because you have a hard time tuning into your feminine energy. I think you're very good with your masculine energy, actually. We all have feminine and masculine energy within us. But I think you have a hard time with going with the flow when it comes to what the divine wants for you. Even though you're incredibly intuitive and really in tune with the divine, I think you have a hard time trusting what the divine is taking you towards. And I think there's always a huge fear that you're going to lose what you've created, or you're going to fail, or things aren't going to work the way you want it to. Because with the Gazelle card here as well, this can talk about hypervigilance, and hypervigilance to the point where you can't enjoy the present moment. And so that might be why you have some workaholic tendencies, or the tendency to channel yourself into other things, or the things you're passionate about, because being alone with yourself might be kind of horrifying sometimes, which no big deal, it's horrifying for everyone. We do have air, fire, and earth energy. Air would be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Earth would, I hope I said air, fire, earth. I hope I said that. Earth energy would be Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and fire would be Aries, Leo, Sag. I definitely think you have an incredible stamina, especially for how much effort you have to put in to appear the way that you do. And I don't think that you necessarily intend to appear this way. I think it's just how you naturally are with this Mystic and Horse card. I think that people really see you as someone driven, determined, ambitious, powerful, maybe far more powerful than they realize. Someone who has a good future, and someone who seems to know where they're heading even if they don't realize it. Like, I think that you're that type of person that people just project their assumptions about, like, oh, they must have their life all together, or they must have it all figured out, when you don't. But it's not your fault that people see that way. And I do want you to know that you are incredibly impressive, and the way that people see you and the energy that you put out there is very aligned with who you truly are. I just think you have a hard time identifying yourself with it because, one, you beat yourself up so much, and two, it is so hard to regulate yourself and your brain sometimes that I think it just exhausts you. And it's constantly a mental game of keeping up with life and keeping up with yourself. So I did hear masking when I was channeling, so shout out to my neurodivergent peeps. As an ADHDer, I do understand this energy. So you could be neurodivergent, or you could just be in an environment where you have to work really hard to blend in, or work really hard to appear acceptable or appear normal. But I think that you have a really strong willpower. You could be a dancer or an athlete of some kind. Maybe a lot of people don't know that about you. Maybe you have a specific workout routine or fitness hobby that you enjoy. Gazelle does talk about dancing. You have this graceful chaoticness to you where you don't know how you do it all, and you don't even know what you're doing most of the time, but it turns out well. So it's like, don't stop. Keep doing that. And I want to talk about tune in the channeler, because I think that you are very good at channeling for other people. Like, you might be that type of person where you just get advice for people out of nowhere. You could do something like what I do, which is channeling for collective. You could be a tarot reader or something like that. But no matter what, I think whatever you want to do in life, you want to benefit humanity in some way. So you could work for the collective in a healthcare way. You could work for the collective in a research way. You could work for the collective in a tech way, or in a you could really, honestly, by living in a society and providing some sort of value to it, you're benefiting the collective. So, you know, it can really be whatever. But I do think no matter what you do, there is a lot of heart and soul that you put into it, because we have green and pink here. We have lots of pink. So I think what you do out of love. And I think it's mainly your love for whatever it is that you do. But I think that you are also just a very compassionate and loving person. I think that when people are one-on-one with you, or when people hear you talk, you just have this ability to listen to people and make people feel heard. Not only that, I think that, I know I already said wisdom beyond your years, but I also think you have a uniqueness to you where people may not anticipate the kind heart underneath what for some of you I think is a very unique or edgy exterior. I don't think that's for all of you though, but I do think with tune in, you may have a much easier time tuning into other people's energies than you are with your own energy. And I think that's because there's so much kind of tied up within you. I think that, please don't take this the wrong way, but you may have a little bit of like clenched butthole energy when it comes to yourself, because I think that you're just in general incredibly hard on yourself, and don't give yourself the space in the room to make mistakes or not be perfect, which is gonna lead you to failure, because none of us can be perfect. And so I do think at times you're kind of stuck in this frozen state of just anxiousness. But your ability to work through that and continue doing what you love anyway is incredibly powerful. I also think that with the Tune In card, your ability to read messages from the universe and read messages for the collective is really impressive as well. You definitely have a mystical edge to you and a mystical nature to you that people find very alluring. You have a lot of crown and third eye chakra energy to you, which is even amplified by this horse card. So I definitely think that not only are you incredibly psychic, but you can use those gifts to benefit everyone but yourself. Which, pound that out. Like, give me a little fist bump, because same. I hope my ring didn't hurt you, or that was probably an awkward fist bump, but you know what? It's fine. Air fist bumps can't be perfect, and neither can we. I do think as well, though, I do have a specific message. If you're like 23 going on 24, or actually no, it doesn't need to just be for like 23 and 24 year olds. No matter what, I feel like this upcoming year that you're coming into is a year where you're freeing yourself of a lot of these issues. I think with this adjacent possibilities card, you're coming into yourself more with more confidence. I think you're starting to finally see your beauty and the value that you bring to the world and people in general. But I definitely also think that you don't see how wonderful you truly are, and you don't see how impressive people see you as. So let's go ahead now and look at your positive impact on others, if that description resonates. If it does not resonate, I would try a different pile. Okay, so for your pile, I am using the Naked Heart Tarot, in case anyone was curious. There are definitely people that think that you have it all. That's like the vibe that I'm getting. And they just have no idea. They have no idea your own internal struggle. And that's why you gotta just let stuff like that flow right off you like water off a duck's back, because they don't know the struggle. They're projecting their own assumptions and shadows onto you. That's not your problem, boo. Okay. So, Spirit, what positive impact does pile 3 have on the people around them? Oh, we have the 3 of Cups. Oh, we have the Lovers. Gemini energy there. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the High Priestess. Holy moly. We have the Hermit. And on the back of the deck, we have the Six of Cups. So you have a very positive impact on people, pile 3. I want to start off with if you have a partner. Or for some of you partners, but I think for most of you, if you have a partner, they're coming through pretty heavily in this because you have made a profoundly positive impact on them that I don't think they'll ever be able to repay to you. Like, I literally heard, like, my life started when I met you. And for some of you, even if you don't have a partner, you may have, like, a divine counterpart or something like that. And I think that this person just sees the world in you, just sees you as so precious, like, protect at all costs. But you're so fun to be around. With the 3 of Cups, I think that, like, your friends and family and the people in your life genuinely enjoy your presence. I think that no matter, like, who you are, like, when you get with your friends, like, the people that love you, that are not, maybe not even, like, your family, but, like, you know, the friends that you deem family, like, those people love you so much. And, like, your presence makes their life, their events, everything they do 1,000,000 times better. Not only that, with the Lovers here, the Lovers also talks about choices. And I think that you give people the inspiration to look within about the choices that they're making. You know, one habit that any of us can get stuck in is, you know, blaming things outside of us for our problems, which there absolutely are and can be things outside of us that are not our fault. But when we're not looking inward at all, we can have some blind spots to maybe how we contribute to our own bullshit. And I think that you have really shown people that there's a beauty in taking responsibility for yourself and in independence. I definitely think you're a more independent person, and I think that people really admire your ability to make decisions that are aligned with your highest good and not fall back into old habits or patterns, or at least inspire them not to. With the Wheel of Fortune card here, I think that you literally just make people's lives better. Like, I think a lot of people see you as someone who came into their life in a divine way. And with the High Priestess, I think a lot of people rely on you for divine guidance. I think that you are a lot of people's go-to, like, psychic or go-to medium or go-to person. Even if you don't identify with those labels, you might be your friend's go-to person for advice, or the go-to person for when you don't understand something, or if you have a crazy dream, like, people are hitting you up. I think you're that person that makes people really stop and reflect. And with the Hermit card being here, I think that's why. I think that you have an incredibly analytical mind and you're very, very deep. And so when people are around you, I think they're shocked by your depth. I don't think people see that at first. And so once they have an opportunity to see that, I think it inspires them to do the same. It's very different from this Gemini energy, where I do feel like you also have the ability to really kind of shoot the shit with anyone. You can kind of be whatever people need you to be. But I think with this Lovers card being here as well, I think you love people the way you wish to be loved, and that makes a lot of people love you because I think you're an incredibly loving person. And with the 3 of Cups here, I think you might throw, like, really awesome parties, or maybe you just make the party more fun. For some of you, I feel like you could be the mom or dad friend. But I think more than anything, people definitely miss you when you go into, like, hermit isolated modes, but they understand because you're just a very deep person. And with the 6 of Cups, I feel like people view you as pure and precious and innocent and, like, protect them at all costs. Like, you may be powerful, but it's like people want to protect you. It's your heart that makes you truly unique. And I think that's what That's what people really love about you, is your pure and kind heart, and how much love you have for others, and how much love you give to the people in your life. And with this Wheel of Fortune card, I feel like when you make a heart connection with someone, whether it's family, friends, lover, they remain a special part of your life and your heart and your story, even if things don't end well, or don't end the way you thought, or end and you never thought they would. I feel like you're the type of person who has the ability to let go and reflect and grow and cherish things for what they were, and not trudge them on too longer than they need to be. But I mean, the fact that we have 4 major arcanas here, you're an incredibly impactful person in a lot of people's lives. And I think that you see things that other people don't. I feel like people can really trust you when it comes to words of wisdom, and can trust you with their secrets. I also think that with the Hermit card being here, people might sometimes, get frustrated because they know you're right about something, and they come back and will like tell you like, oh, you were right about this, or you were right about that. I definitely think you're a very, very powerful force to be reckoned with, and the positive impact you make in other people's lives is delivering them truth bombs on the reg, giving them sweet, kind, compassionate words of wisdom and energy sent their way. You give people a way to look at things from your perspective that comes from a non-judgmental place, and that gives them the opportunity to reassess what they truly believe. You're more than willing to help people spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and even physically if you have to. I think that you are someone who genuinely cares for others, and you may even find yourself at times in a caretaker role. Maybe some of you are caretakers, but I think more than anything, you just make people's lives better. You light up their life, and I feel like people constantly thank the universe for bringing you into their life. I don't think you realize how many people feel genuinely lucky to have you in their life. And I think especially a romantic interest, a lover, or divine counterparts coming through very much so here to say that you have been invaluable to them, and absolutely, like, they would not be who they are if it wasn't for you. A lot of people would not be who they are and live the life that they have now if they hadn't come into contact with you. I feel like you are an inspiration. What is that audio clip of Oprah describing Gail? Like, she's the mother I never had. Like, I don't know, it just goes, whatever that was, that's you. Like, you are just the best, the creme de la creme. And anyone who disagrees just simply has bad taste. I hate to break it to them. Actually, no, I don't. If anyone has a problem with you, you can just let them know that Aso Tarot thinks that they have bad taste. Actually, no, don't bring me in your stuff, but you can think it. I say that with peace and love, of course. Okay, let's go ahead and get some channeled messages from your spirit guides and see what they want to say to you. Okay. So, Spirit, what messages do you have for pile 3? Take a trip. A distant land may be calling out to you right now for healing purposes or spiritual growth. Notice where it is that you are drawn to travel to. There is something to gain on an upcoming trip. We also have find a gentle touch and ease in all that you do at the moment. Allowing things to flow naturally will get you closer to your desires than trying to force something less. Less resistance equals greater output. We also have journaling your thoughts, worries, or ideas can be a healing tool for you at the moment. Pick up a pen and paper and write out whatever it is on your mind, or perhaps whatever you wish to manifest. Your thoughts need an outlet. And we also have expect the unexpected. A sudden change or shift is in store for you. Whatever it is, it's for your best. It's for your best. I love these cards, but some of the words, some of the sentences. Everything happens for a reason, even if it seems challenging at first. We also have slip into a deep meditation and focus only on your breath. Connect to what your body needs by feeling its vibration and state of being. You will feel more in tune and intuitively aware of exactly what you need the most. And on the back of the deck, we have your soul. Your light is precious and your soul is delicate. Be careful of sharing too much of your life with your light with those that only want to take from you. Set up healthy boundaries and be aware. I said life instead of light, but that may have been a Freudian slip, kids. Okay, so hopefully those resonate, but let's go ahead now and finish off with some positive guidance cards. So Spirit, what positive guidance does pile 3 need to hear, please? We have refocused your energy. Sometimes the most productive way forward is to stop, rest, and reassess. We also have sign. This card brings you the validation you have been seeking. This is a sign to take action on whatever it is that you have been contemplating. For some of you, that might mean book a certain trip. We have let it go. It's time to let go of the negative thoughts that are consuming you. Don't waste your energy on them any longer. We also have good vibrations. You're vibrating at a high level. Use this to your advantage. The law of attraction will work very effectively for you right now. And peace. Tranquility surrounds your life right now. A peaceful road awaits. I love that. And I love your energy, pile 3. And I love you, pile 3. So I hope that you love yourself too. But I am going to leave this reading here. Be sure to check out Alyssa's video linked down below. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for collabing with me. I feel really bad. I think I forgot to add that to the outro in the last 2 piles. But it stands for last 2 piles as well. But if you are leaving me here, which there's no extended, so you should be. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. And thank you so much for watching my ads or letting them play in the background. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you would like to support me in other ways, you can like this video. You can comment down below. Let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already and click that little bell button to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can also check out my merch, which is linked below. And finally, you can check out my social media, which is linked below as well. Though, do be aware that I am not taking personal readings, and there are tons of scammers that pretend to be me and will ask you if you want a personal reading, and they're all liars. They're liars, and they suck. So, yeah, if someone says they're me and they're in your DMs telling you that they're me and offering you a reading, they're a liar and they're wrong. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, whenever it is that you're watching this video. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose the Aqua Aura Quartz and that card, then this is going to be your reading on the positive impact you make on others. So even though this looks like the typical person A, person B format, all of these cards have to do with you, so don't get it twisted. And if this sounds like you, then congrats, we found your pile, and after I do the energy check, we will get into the positive impact you make on others. But if this doesn't sound like you, then I would try a different pile. So to start, we have patterns, and we have the builder, discipline, practicality, achievement, Capricorn energy, heavy there. We have the father, and we have the cornucopia, and the spider. We also have the king. We have happy family in reverse. And we have the raccoon. Heavy energy, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't think it's heavy energy, like emotionally heavy. I think it's heavy because there's so much earth energy here. It's like weighing me down and like bringing me to earth in a way I don't really particularly like, because it's almost so grounded that I don't know. My space cadet ass is like, whoa. So this is what it's like to be in your body. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you are like earth even if you don't have earth placements, which I would be shocked if you don't have any earth placements, not even like your Venus or your Mars, you definitely have hella earth energy to you. But the placements are Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus for earth. But you are someone who is incredibly down to earth, and we have a lot of masculine energy here. Actually, with 4 being here, that would be the Emperor. We also have the King and the Father. So even if you don't identify as a man, or even masculine, or don't even see yourself as masculine in nature, maybe by physicality or whatever, you definitely have a lot of masculine energy to you, where not only do people see you as a guide and a support system, but also someone who takes the lead, someone who calls the shots, and someone who maybe struggles to know their worth. The biggest thing that I'm getting here is there may be some issues or patterns that you're working through when it comes to your father or a parent specifically. I feel like you're in this place in your life where you're trying to be better than what you were brought up as. But I also think that in whatever social group you're in, you may be kind of seen as like the dad friend or the mom friend or the friend that people go to for help, the friend that like you're the friend that people would go to like when they need help getting bailed out of jail. Or I feel like people may take advantage of your kind nature at times, but you're someone who works really hard and shares what you've harvested with others. With the cornucopia card being here, I think people see you as someone incredibly generous, someone incredibly giving, and also someone who is meticulously dedicated to their own success, to the point where they may have a hard, meaning you, may have a hard time just slowing down and having fun. I feel like for you, life is just consistently, well, we could talk about this. Life is really just chaos and pattern. And I think that you work very hard to identify patterns and use those patterns to your benefit. But I also think that you are currently working through patterns that no longer serve you and implicating new ones that are meant to help you become a more evolved version of yourself. I think people see you as highly ambitious and someone who really just has success in their destiny. But what a lot of people don't know is that I think that you have a hard time embracing your own feminine energy, and maybe not in all things, but I do think you struggle to be creative, and I also think you struggle to listen to your emotions. With the raccoon card being here, you could also be like a night owl, but I think that you have a really hard time dredging up the past or feeling any emotions that you don't want to feel. I think that you feel most worthy, most balanced, most in control when you're serving as a provider or a protector of some kind, probably both. I feel like it's very important to you that the people around you need you, or that you're useful to the people around you, which is definitely a wonderful thing, and I'm sure we're going to see that in the cards. But I definitely think that you have unhealed wounds around your own father figure that you may find yourself repeating, or you may find yourself going to great lengths to not replicate because it may have left wounds within you that you have yet to address. With the happy family card in reverse, I feel like there is a part of you that may at times feel very powerless, whether the people around you are currently unhappy. Like if they're unhappy, it may be hard for you to be happy, or this could be a past thing, or this could be a past thing where maybe you grew up in a more unhappy family or in a more turbulent sort of family, and as a result you may feel some instability within yourself. So pattern and a lack of change may be very comforting to you. So I mean, it makes sense why you're in such a grounded energy. I think that you're able to ground people around you, and I think you're a rock for a lot of people. It makes me think of like the Logic Rock from Human Resources. If you've never seen that show, it's on Netflix and it's very, very funny. And once you see the Logic Rock, you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, the Logic Rock is very, very necessary, even if we don't necessarily want to listen to it. But you are that logical person. We have so much earth energy here. You are practical. People can depend on you to show up. People can depend on you for help. I think you are the type of person who is very good at coming up with grounded and practical solutions. And not only that, I feel like you're an incredible leader and an incredible person to lean on in times of need. I think a lot of people look up to you, and I think that you enjoy being in this role of prominence, but it may be difficult at times for your own emotional needs to be met or for you to even be aware of them. I feel like sometimes you're so busy caring for everyone around you that you kind of forget to look at yourself. And I think that you do your best, but I still think you're incredibly hard on yourself, and I think you have no idea how well, we're gonna get into it, but you definitely are so generous with what you have. You're very generous with others, and I think you're also highly intelligent and able to see things in an orderly and logical way that not everyone is able to. I mean, you're definitely a valuable addition to any team and a valuable leader for teams, because I think you're able to see connections that work well together, people that work well together, the right people for the right projects. I mean, you just are a leader through and through, and I think that you're not only very good at reading people and knowing how they'll interact, but you're just, what is the best word to use? You're optimized. Like, it's almost like a computer. So you may be good with like computers or like coding or tech, but it's just like, you just optimize life and continue to get better at it. Like, there's just this incredible ability within you to find what's not working and change it and continue this cycle of life with things going a bit more smoothly, because at least you've prepared for the worst, hope for the best, and learn from your different life experiences. I definitely think that at times you may get really frustrated, like people just aren't at your level or people just don't understand what it's like being in your shoes. And I think you're right. It's not easy to be in the shoes of a leader. And I think that there are definitely parts of yourself that have gone unidentified or unseen by you. And you may find that you get frustrated with people around you. And you may not even realize this consciously, but you may feel like people don't really see you. But even if people try to, I think that you wouldn't even identify with those parts of yourself because you haven't discovered them yet. So what you're actually seeing as, oh, people don't see the real me. Yes and no. They don't see the deeper parts of you because you don't even see them. How can they see them? But also, in this role that you've prescribed for yourself, or this role that you've stepped into, you know, that's what you show up as. And most people don't read between the lines too deeply. Most people are, oh, you're this? Okay. Like, I mean, think how easy it is for people to just be chastised with zero facts of a situation because of simple statements. Oh, this person is this. Like, as a society, collectively, we suck at nuance. It is a plague, and it is something that genuinely stresses me out, and I rant about on a daily fucking basis because it is absolutely insane to me that I'm not going to go into that because I will lose my shit, and I already feel myself getting angry. But as a society, we need nuance, and unfortunately, you're leading a society that lacks nuance. So people will see you in that very direct light of, oh, this is leader. I look up to leader help me. But they don't see, oh, leader have feeling too. Oh, leader also want to be irresponsible sometimes too. Like, you know, people just don't get that. So you carry your burden, and honestly, you do it well. So well that I think that if people didn't have you around, they would probably realize how much they take you for granted. Because I do think that people probably take you and what you do for granted. Just because you're there and you're helpful. And I think you don't really complain about it. You do what you need to do, and you keep your head down. And I think that the difference between you and a lot of people is that you should be a leader. You should be in this position, because so many people in positions of power absolutely abuse their power and authority over people. And you have a heart, and I think you're really committed to living a life that's not only in alignment with your heart and your morals and integrity, but also with your soul. I think that even though you may be more grounded and practical, you have a good idea of what matters to you, what's important to you. And I think you have a level of consistency that not a lot of people have, and it's something incredibly admirable. I think honestly, Pile 4, you don't really give yourself enough credit for how valuable you are to not only the people around you, but just to life in general. We need more people like this, and unfortunately we don't have enough. So let's go ahead and see what your positive impacts on others are, even though we've already kind of gotten into it. But see, one thing that I want to say is, even when I'm doing your energy check, we're already getting into your positive attributes. So the fact that that's happening really tells me that a good portion or a major part of your identity is centered around your role in serving others. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be seen more for who you truly are, you have to put more emphasis into figuring that out and, you know, going into yourself, because people will typically just accept whatever you show them and not read too deeply into situations, unless you're like me. Then you make a living off of it. Which, thank God, because, oh, I'm so glad I'm not in grad school. Point blank. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and see. Spirit, what positive impact does Pile 4 have on the people around them, please? We have the 5 of Cups. I literally, when I pulled this card out, I heard "get your head out of your ass," and I already know what this pertains to. So I think a lot of you have this ability to kind of reality check the people in your life, especially when they get too caught up in a fantasy. And I think that that can definitely hurt people, but it's a very necessary truth thing. You know what I mean? I don't think you necessarily go out to hurt people's feelings with this, but I think when you see something go too far, you'll be like, okay, come on, how can you not see this? Oh, yep, there we go. We have the Sage, more Taurus energy, more freaking Earth energy. We also have the 7 of Wands. Let's see what else. We have the, I'm going to say that's the Knight, because y'all know I have beef with tarot decks that don't use the typical terms, typical verbiage. So I'm going to just guess that that is the Knight. We also have the 2 of Cups. We have the 3 of Wands. And back of the deck, we have the 5 of Wands, but I'm about to take it out of the frame just because I don't think it's going to fit, but we'll try. We'll try. Okay. Interesting. Well, where do I even want to start? I was like, let me just feel the cards for a second. Let me feel your vibes. You get a sip of my water. Okay. Whew. We have a lot of odd numbers here. And I definitely think that your presence brings about a lot of change within people. With this Sage card being here, this is once again a leader energy. I think that you guide people in ways that are very comforting. I think you give very practical, very sage advice that people can really rely on. And I think people are always really really relieved kind of when people come to you with a problem and you're like, oh, here's a solution, here's what you can do. But I also think that you're a great person to have in life in general, because not only do you fight for the people that you love, but fight for the people that you love, you're so much fun. Like with the Knight of Wands being here, even though you have such a big role on this earth and in life in general, you're not afraid to let your hair down if you have any and have fun. You know, I think no matter what, like, you're somebody who takes action and does what they say they're going to do. I do think you can be a bit fickle when it comes to the people around you, like, but I think that's a good thing, because people may rely on you far too heavily, and I think you've learned that it's not your job to save everyone else. Like, you're not meant to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. But with the Five of Cups here, I definitely feel like you give people reality checks that maybe they don't necessarily want. The universe might even use you as a mechanism for that, and you might like not like that notion, but someone's got to do it, you know? And I think really one of the most positive impacts that you have on people's lives is that you really kind of help them see through the things that don't make sense to them. You give people motivation to kind of buckle down and work. I think actually I wouldn't say it's the worst thing or it's bad, but like, you're such a good leader. You're such a good person that like gets shit doneer. You're a get shit doneer. Yeah, your girl needs a thesaurus. You're so good at taking action and getting things done that I think people might be complacent if they know you're working on something. And that might lead to some frustration. But I think people need to be called out. And I think you're that person who will call people out on their BS. And not only that, I think that you're more than willing to put your perspective out there and defend it, even if some of you might be a devil's advocate or someone who just likes to be that just to see what kind of reactions you'll get. Because there is definitely a chaotic neutral to this pile. But with the Three of Wands here, I think that you get people in the mindset of looking towards the future. I think that you inspire other people to want to be more and do more, to want to have as good of a head on their shoulders as you seem to. With the Two of Cups being here, if you have a partner, then I think that you have made an incredible impact on their life, especially if you're married to them, because, well, for one, maybe you have children together or you've just built a really beautiful life together. I think that you've had a very positive impact on their life, and I think that their energy specifically is coming through to express their gratitude and appreciation. But even if you have like a divine counterpart or a really significant exes from the past, I think they're still great. They're very grateful for you. If it's a divine counterpart, I think they're very grateful. If they're an ex from the past, I think that they're grateful for the lessons that they've learned and grown from. But I also think with the Two of Cups here, I think you're really excellent at having heart-to-hearts with people. But I don't think you do that very often. I think you're incredibly selective with who you actually share your time and energy with. But I think you give people the motivation to fight for what they actually want and to recognize that their dreams don't have to just be dreams, that they can go out there and actually chase them. I think that people might be a bit envious of you because not everyone may have the same drive or work ethic that you do. But the biggest thing that I see with you is that you're a planner. You're planning for the future. You're planning ahead. You are focused on your goals. You're focused on your success. And some people might find that incredibly disappointing because they may want more of your time and energy. But I think it's awesome that you're focused on you first. With the Sage card being here, I think you've got wisdom beyond your years, and you gain wisdom from all of your experiences that not only you can use to help the people around you, but you can use to stop you from making the mistakes you made in the past. I think that it really doesn't take you much to learn from your mistakes, or even if it does take a few times, once you learn it, you're not going to mess it up again. But with the Seven of Wands being here as well, I can just see that you're a fighter and a warrior. And I think that you will fight for what you believe in. You will fight for the people that you love. You will fight to the bitter end to, like, I just feel like the soul of a warrior, like the soul of someone who's going to fight for their loved ones, fight for their home, fight for their values, fight for their dreams, and fight for what they want. And I think that you give people the inspiration to keep fighting as well. I think it's very easy in this culture and just, well, not just in this culture, I think in general, it's just a human thing. I think humans is just very fucking easy to give up. And we like to do what's easy. And I think that a lot of times you do what's not easy. You do what's difficult, and you do it anyway, even though that you may not be applauded for it, you may not be given any credit for it, and it may not even necessarily benefit you in the short term, but you're thinking about things in the long term. You're thinking about what's most beneficial and what is going to be of the highest good, not just what's going to be good for right now. And I think as a result, you're very methodical, very disciplined, very dedicated to what you're doing. And I think people really admire that and want to emulate that. Your positive impact on others is that you do a lot of the work that most people are either too unsure of themselves to do or lack the skills to do. Or, you know, that TikTok audio that's like, people be like, I could have made that. And then it's like, yeah, but you didn't. I feel like people look at you and look at what you do and say like, oh, I could have done that, or I could have made that. But it's like, but you didn't. You didn't take the lead. You're the one who does. You are the one who actually goes after their dreams, doesn't just sit and talk about them. You're the one that actually invests in yourself and invests in what you want out of life, rather than just complaining that things aren't the way you wish they were. I think you really keep your head down, and honestly, you may keep your circle quite small. But from what I can see, you really inspire the people around you to do more, to be better, and to make a life for themselves too. Because I think just with everything that you've accomplished, it is very clear that you're just going to continue to grow. Like, you're just going to continue to evolve. Jack and the Beanstalk might be significant. I don't know why. But I think you have the potential to annihilate giants, annihilate titans. I just heard titans of industry. So I don't know what that means, but it seems like you've got some big shoes to fill. And if you're on the younger side, like, you may not even have children or anything like that, but you may just be a leading guide for other people. I mean, this is really beautiful energy, and I think honestly not everyone appreciates it enough, because it's kind of like the energy of the man, but the man is definitely very the man. You know, like the man kidnapped Shamu and put her in a chlorine tank, that man. But you're not all that. It's just enough to where you can get things done and be practical. But there's also this wild, fun, free-natured side of you that I think your friends really enjoy. I think sometimes you might get into that practical mode and your friends might be like, come on, man, who cares? Like, come on, like, don't do that, or nah, like, just have fun, like, relax. But I think it's not really in your nature. I think you find leading fun. I think you find a lot of this enjoyable, or if not enjoyable, necessary, incredibly necessary to enjoy yourself later. So I think one thing that you're really good at is not giving into peer pressure, at least all the time. Or if you were, I think you've learned from that a bit. But let's go ahead and see what channel messages Spirit has for you. So Spirit, what messages do you have for pile 4? These are coming out in interesting ways. Self-love is truly the key to harmonious relationships and manifestation. Spend some quality time with yourself right now and work on truly loving and valuing all parts. Put you first. Yeah, I was pretty much already saying that, so thank you, Spirit. Open up and allow a new chapter in your life to unfold. Welcome in the brand new beginnings that are about to begin for you. This is an opportunity for a clean slate and to truly start anew. We also have find a gentle touch and ease in all that you do at the moment. Allowing things to flow naturally will get you closer to your desires than trying to force something. Less resistance equals greater output. We also have your heart is wanting to step into a state of forgiveness for yourself or of others. You may be holding on to pain, bitterness, or trauma in a way that is stagnating your heart's flow. Forgive and let go of the past. We also have Spirit is currently pushing you to rest your physical, emotional, or mental body as you may be overworking yourself. Take some time to replenish your energy right now. You are doing too much. And on the back of the deck, we have the universe always has a way of guiding you and reflecting back what you need to hear, to see or hear. Notice the signs, synchronicities, and subtle communication that is trying to send you a message. Listen closely. Yeah, so it might be hard to listen to your inner guidance at times, especially if you're this grounded. So it can be really helpful for you to follow, to kind of go within more and listen to yourself more and spend more time with yourself, because you'll be able to focus on messages easier and tune into what things are trying to tell you. But, okay, let's keep going. Spirit, what if... Okay, well, that's too damn many, but I'm going to take these top two. But Spirit, what advice do you want to finish off this reading with for pile 4, please? Okay. Back of the deck energy. Clear your mind, take a walk, bath, or meditate. I love how this is like the sky and the ocean. It looks like the same thing. And moving forward, clearing your mind is important in moving forward for you right now. Okay, we also have enjoy the process. It's time to stop and enjoy the present. Your future is being taken care of by the universe. I think that's one thing you have a hard time trusting in. I feel like you have this vibe of like, if I don't do it, it won't happen. And I think you need to trust that the universe will match the energy that you put in. Co-creation does not mean you do all the heavy lifting and the universe watches. It means the universe works with you, and you manipulate the physical, they manipulate the ethereal, and it all comes together as this beautiful cosmic dance of synchronicity and alignment. We also have new beginnings. This is the second card about new beginnings. An exciting shift is on its way. A new job, project, promotion, or home is in the works. We also have sign. This card brings you the validation that you have been seeking. This is a sign to take action on whatever it is you have been contemplating. And finally, we have relax. Everything is okay. Everything is working out perfectly, and this situation will resolve effortlessly. Expect miraculous solutions to unfold. So I think that is pretty on point. So pile 4, I think I'm going to leave this reading here. Be sure to check out Alyssa's video over on her channel. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads or just letting them play in the background. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you would like to support me in other ways, you can like this video. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already and click that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can also check out my merch, which is linked below, and you can check out my social media, though do be aware I have tons of scammers pretending to be me. So just know I will not solicit a personal reading from you in your DMs. I do not offer personal readings, so if someone DMs you claiming to be me, I promise you there's a 99% chance it is not me. So just check and make sure that the account that is messaging you is directly linked from my YouTube channel, not to my YouTube channel, because they will link their accounts to my YouTube channel as well, because there's no rule for that apparently. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you are watching this video. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Okay, bye.